Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining me for chair yoga. We're going to begin today this practice. I want to teach you a mudra, a different hand position, and we'll use it throughout the practice. It's used to create a sense of space. Be aware, much more aware of the space in your body, the space around you. So it's a space awareness, spaciousness. Maybe you might appreciate that as a better view. It's called the Akasha mudra, and it's simply that your thumb, the tip of your thumb and the tip of your middle finger come together, both hands, just the tips. And you can hold it in various ways, but that's the connection we're making. That's the mudra. So with that, I wanted to be close to the camera while I was showing that to you. But I'm going to just join you back into the chair, and we'll begin our transitional process together. I'm going to use the block as usual between my thighs, coming forward on the chair, so I'm able to move my legs better, and also that we're relying on core strength. So you come away from the backrest, but you want to make sure you feel balanced and well supported in your pelvis. So let's take a moment to do that, to feel the balance left to right. There's also a front to back balance awareness that we can, if you recall, it's not something we've talked about for quite a while, but there's kind of a map of the pelvic floor that I like to follow. It's a diamond shaped map where your left to right reference on that diamond shape is the sit bones. So the sit bones of your pelvis, you can feel that bony prominence. That's a pretty easy access for left to right alignment. The front to back, a little less noticeable, but certainly you can become aware of that. And that is your pubic bone in the front and your tailbone in the back. So the pubic bone is not nearly, it's not even close to touching the chair. So you don't have the reference of contact like you do with your sit bones, but you can really feel it in your pelvis as a kind of mechanism of how you might be rocking forward and back. And you start to notice the pubic bone as part of that process. So that's a good front adjustment, and then the back adjustment is the tailbone, the very base of the spine. So just to give you that reminder of those reference points as we balance ourselves in the pelvis. Pull your belly in so you feel the strength of that belly wall, that abdominal wall. And then just try to hold on to that, so you're not overdoing. You can't hold it in so tight that you can't, continue with your practice, but you feel the difference by the fact that you've engaged it. You've engaged that belly wall. Now let's go to our mudra. That's the tip of the finger of the middle finger makes contact with the tip of the thumbs. I'm going to say that's the position we're going to lay on our lap. We usually just have our open palms, but this time we've got it in a particular position to create a more awareness of the space around you. Let's start with that awareness. So close your eyes, if you will, and take a deep breath in and out. Just a breath that gives you some better awareness of your breath. You're following the inhale. It's strong enough and potent enough that you can really be aware of that breath in, and the same thing for the exhalation. Eyes are closed, so you can start to feel that in your body, the movement of the breath. So you might feel the subtle movement in the body. You can feel it in your belly movement. You can feel your chest lift, all the ways that we actually feel the body moving while we breathe. And then something different, a little more subtle today, is that I want you, as you keep your mudra in place, that you're aware of as you breathe, and it just becomes this natural flow of movement, breath in and out, that you somehow become aware of the space that surrounds your body. Just let's say 2 or 3 inches away from the boundary of your skin, the boundary that is your body. And you're just more aware that maybe your breath includes that as well. Feet are planted, so you feel very secure in terms of grounding, presence, but that you find your breath, and you're just today aware of the space around your body. And that space, is a part of this whole um, holy ground that we occupy right now. In the yogic tradition, this is part of the elements. We make reference in our deep appreciation and study of yoga with the elements: earth, the fire, air, water. And this space is one of those elements that is utilized in the yoga tradition, sometimes called ether or an ethereal experience. So just stay with that. Maybe a new awareness for you today. Maybe some of you are very familiar, some not. Lift your chest up. Nice, easy breath. Elbows are squeezing in toward the waist. Just aware today, a new awareness of the space that surrounds your body. Take a moment now to set your intention for practice. What do you need from this yoga today? And remember, sometimes that comes later on. We just say, well, I'm willing, I'm coming willing to participate and open to whatever gifts that yoga has for me today. I'm not real sure what it is I need, but I bet that comes to you. Couple more breaths, just making our transition, really settling in, feeling the grounding, feeling a quieting. So we're no longer tied to the activities that occupied us just moments ago before we arrived for yoga. Bringing yourself fully aware of this moment right here, this experience. Let's exhale completely. We'll flutter the eyes, release your hands into that open palm, open to receive. Take a big breath in and kind of, it's like you're pulling that receiving of the breath in through the palms of your hands into your body in every way you can. Exhale, release anything that is no longer serving you. Let's begin some movement. Inhale up, palms will come together overhead. Really extend your arms so there's no bend in the elbow. Palms lightly touching. And as you exhale, bring yourself into a back bend by way of the W shape of the arms. So inhale all the way up, palms together. Exhale W and see if you can create a little back bend. So it's movement in the shoulder blades. Can you feel that? We're waking up the movement now of the shoulder blades. The back body gets really sticky for most people. So let's get into that area that kind of gives us the most trouble to begin with. Let's get that loosened up so then we'll find more freedom of movement. Gently touching palms together, finding this as a rhythm that's associated with your breath. Inhale up. Exhale when you come into the back bend. And so extend your exhale. So you've got plenty of breath to shape it. Same thing with the inhale. You can breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. You might find, I don't know how I'm breathing, leave me alone. Okay, just finding your breath. But you notice it. I think it's really wise of us to just notice what our natural breath consists of. Last time, here we go. Inhale up, palms together. Now we're going to bow at the heart. Palms are at the heart space. Inhale back up. And exhale, take a big backstroke all the way around. I want 2 more of those. Oh, stretch way back and down. Can you feel the loosening up through those shoulder blades all the way down? Let's move through the spine now. Arms push back. So you've got your palms facing the chair's frame. Pull back now. Keep them real close to the chair. And let your chest bone come forward. So chest, chest, chest. Now let's stomp our feet into the floor, really make an impression. Feels like you're making an impression of your toes and the sole of your foot. And you can feel the engagement of your legs so much more so. So you can really exaggerate this arc in your back. It's just an arch of a back that is called our cow pose. It's a full extension of the spine, very curvy, very much a curve. Keep your head neutral. So we're kind of neutralizing or minimizing the curve in the cervical spine. That would be your neck. That part of the spine is kind of neutral. I know I'm hanging out here a while. I want you to really feel that arch of the back, and then grab hold of your kneecaps, pull the belly button in. And so then you're rounding through your back body in a C-shaped curve. So now we do have some movement in the cervical spine. You've dropped your chin down towards your throat, or towards your chest, and you're trying to create another big curve, but it's going the opposite way. It's a C-shaped curve. Feel it, shape it, figure it out, so you'll be able to access it quickly. That's the thing. We want to really know these poses in our body, not in our heads, not just like, I get it, I know what you're saying, that you can feel your way in. Your body says, oh yeah, I'm very familiar with this one. One more breath like that, and then we'll do the vinyasa. So inhale's up, arch that back. Exhale is the rounding. Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to talk. And that is to remind you, why do we do this early on so often? It's like always, always, always we're doing this one. I'll tell you why. I'll remind you why. It's moving energy. Is that there's a pool of energy that's in the pelvis, and we want to extend that out to the limbs. We want to get that movement going. You might think of it more like, well, am I increasing my circulation? I can understand that idea much better than this pool of energy in my pelvis. Well, yeah, you're increasing your circulation. So let's start moving the fluids, moving the energy, if we want to call that a fluid, throughout the body. So we've got the fuel for our body to work with. Now, remember, inhale completely and also exhale completely. That will give you plenty of time to get into those shapes. We're going to do 3 more. There's 1 and 2, finishing it up. And our last one. And come back to neutral, this time our mountain pose. So arms are alongside the frame of the chair, alongside your body, real tight in, and you flip your hands so palms are facing forward. Lift up, press those feet to the floor, lift your chest cavity up. Use the strength of your legs to help you with that. Lift up. This is mountain pose in a seated position. Nice grounding place. And this is where you can come to anytime we might be doing something in our practice that is not for you. You know better for your body at this given time. You really don't feel safe participating in any particular, in that, what that I'm just saying, then come to mountain pose. I'll bet everyone can feel safe in that one. So let's extend that left arm out, palm is up. I really rotated my arm, so I got my thumb pointing behind me. Turn your head to look at that. Now your head is turned, you're turning your head and you're stretching your neck. I get that. But I also want you to roll your eyeballs back. I want just the eyeballs to also participate in their full movement back behind you. We're just going to do this for 3 breaths. Take a full breath in, and you got your eyeballs. Now just stay with your counting of the breath. Count it. It's going to help you stay focused. You're rolling your eyes back. When you finish the 3 breaths, start by taking your eyes back to neutral. So now you're looking at your hand. Follow that gaze up. So now you've just lifted your head and you're looking up with your hand up. I want you to feel the stretch between your arms, so that one arm reaching up and one arm reaching down. Feels like you're doing the splits. You can feel the split in your body. Exhale completely. Bring your head back to neutral. See if you can touch someplace on your back. without ducking your head. You've got your fingertips somewhere on your back. I like the middle between my shoulder blades. That might not be accessible to everybody. So making sure you're holding your head up, touching your fingertips. Now let's frame that. Grab a hold of your elbow and frame your head. And we're going to stretch. Squeeze your block. Now you feel, remember how we organized around the sit bones as a way of feeling balance in the pelvis? I'll bet that one side, I'll bet that left side of your, that left sit bone has listed up a little bit. So just being aware that you can't do much to adjust it, but you can bring awareness to it. And that's going to help. That's going to just help. Like you're trying to settle again, settle back and ground a little bit back into that side. Yeah. Now, when we separate our arms, it's going to be a diagonal line, palms face forward. Look down. Look at the hand that's reaching down. Turn your head. Breathe in, breathe out. Unwind now so your head is neutral. Both hands come together, that light touch. Inhale, exhale into your back bend, the W. Inhale up, palms touch. Exhale, the W, back bend. Now let's, side two, we're going to stretch out. So you've got your arm extended, palm is up. Turn your head, you're rotating, stretching your neck. You know what? You've got your hand right by the chair. So if holding the chair gives you better leverage for that, by all means. But now the 3 breaths include the rolling of your eyeballs. You're going to turn your eyeballs to look behind you for 3 breaths. So you counted out a full breath in and out while eyes wide open. You're rolling those eyes back behind you. It's just 3 breaths. You can do it. When you finish the 3 breaths, adjust your eyeballs so you're simply staring at your hand. Follow that hand as it reaches up toward the ceiling. So now you're looking up. You've got your head adjusted so your face is looking up as well. Here's where we do the splits. One arm reaching toward the ceiling, the other one reaching toward the floor. Feel the breath now. Try to connect with all that. Bring your head back to neutral. We're going to touch our back somewhere back, just the fingertips. Don't duck your head, and get your hand to the elbow so you can frame up. We're going to balance in the pelvis so that we can tilt and really isolate that side bend from the waistline up. So the pelvis stays as neutral as we can manage. Relax your neck. You know what I'm noticing here is, you got a hand right back there. That's right at the base of your skull and right by your neck. So if holding yourself there gives you more support and you trust this much more because your neck is feeling a little destabilized because of this heavy head trying to tilt, hold it. Use your hand back there. We're going to separate those arms now. That's that diagonal line, palms face forward. It's not perfect, but you get the idea. And we're going to look down. Turn your head to look at the hand that's reaching down. Find your breath again. Connect with your feet all the way through your body. You feel stabilized. Remember that belly wall? We're engaging that. Inhale up, palms come together. Exhale, W, little back bend. One more. Full extension, no bend. And now we bend into the W. Excellent. Let's bring our block now to the floor maybe underneath the chair. Take a wide angle. And I want you to get your hands on your thighs so you can start circling around now. So circle throughout the pelvic bowl as a nice reset. Let's change the direction of that. And find a halfway mark. You're not turning, I am only turning to remind you what I'm talking about. Elbows squeeze into the waist, pull your chin in towards your throat. So the back of the neck head and spine, back of the head, neck and spine. Feel like it's in a diagonal line, all nicely aligned. So not letting your head pull forward. The heaviness of the head is so significant. We really have to be mindful about that. Spread your arms away from you like wings. Push your feet to the floor. We're going to see if we can do that work of the perineum right now. Push your feet to the floor. We're not pressing our hands into our thighs this time. You're going to use the strength of those inner seams, the inner thighs here, right? Kind of imagining the inner seams while you're down. See, one more thing. While you've got your arms extended back, remember our mudra of middle finger to the thumb, those are tips that are touching. We're extending back. Now, I want you to pull in and do your work of the perineum. That's lifting the perineum up off this chair seat, holding it as long as you can, soften to release so you can go back and do it again. Usually that's the inhale that's pulling and holding, and it's the exhale that's softening and relaxing. And the mudra has just created just subtle awareness of the space that surrounds us in our activity here. Keep working it. Remember those inner thighs, and you kind of follow that by imagining there's the inseam of your pants. We all know where that is. And that's kind of the track that we follow to lift up and hold into the floor of the pelvis. 2 more. You got it. Bring hands to your thighs now. Let's come back up. Shrug and release. Maybe you got some deeper breaths going on. We're resetting the body. I'm offering this idea. You might find something else in your body that needs to be released. So you take it from there. Shrug and release. Shrug and hold, really squeeze, and then release that all. Okay, let's get a hold of the underside of the thighs and lift up. I'm saying that it's a kind of a light touch. You're not really lugging your legs up. You're just guiding it. It's like making a upper body, lower body connection. So you feel very harmonized in this. Keep your belly wall engaged. Next time you've got let's say your left leg up, let's cross it all the way over. Let's try that again. You went from left leg up, really up there, all the way over. We're going to do it a third time. Up, all the way over. Let's hold that. That's going to be the foundation of a twist. Get that standing leg, the foot that's on the floor, get it drawn in toward the chair a little bit. Squeeze, you're kind of off center. That would be appropriate. You're kind of off center. We're going to turn toward the top leg. Top leg governs where we're turning. So use the way you like to set it up. Your arms can grab hold of your thigh and your hands, and the chair is helpful. Maybe you press a backhand into your back body. We're kind of trying to find the balance of the pelvis, right to left. That takes some doing. It might feel like we've naturally pulled ourselves off center. So we're going to make that adjustment, that intentional adjustment. So you're balanced right to left once again. Hold your head in a neutral way so the jawline feels parallel to the floor. You're not lifting your face up. You're not lifting, letting your chin drop down. It's neutral. It's somewhere in the middle. Get back to your breath. Remember to pay attention to green lights. This again, common pose, a twisting action, very common. So keep noticing, because today isn't brand new. This is brand new today, that you're noticing when you might feel the ability for more space in your body. You feel the space in your body giving you permission to deepen your twist. Let's unwind the head and then the shoulders and the arms. Legs are going to come back to the floor. Let's kind of get a hold of the underside, and we're just going to start lifting them up again. Remember, it's just really a connection of hands to legs, so we feel very unified, harmonized. Pull the belly wall in. Big high lifts. Other leg, side 2, has to go all the way and cross. Number 2 time, all the way and cross. Third time, high leg, all the way over to cross, set up your twist. The other way, top leg governs which way we're turning, and you know how to set it up using your arms, using the chair for support. Balance your pelvis, maybe start with that so you don't forget. Keep your head in a neutral position. We created a lot of space in our shoulder blades. I bet you can find a little more depth of movement. Full breath in, full breath out. I love the whole idea that no matter what, no matter how tricky something we're trying to do or how stiff and sore we are on a particular day, we can always breathe in, breathe out, give ourselves the benefit of the fullness of our breath, and that's good yoga. Stay with it a couple more breaths, looking for the green light that might show up. There might be more space. You might get to go. Unwind your head and then your shoulders and your arms. Let's get our legs back into their wide ankle. Let's bring our hands now to our shoulders. So we created those little chicken wings, and then let's do some circles here. Change the direction whenever you want. Now see if you can bring elbows and knees together at the same time. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit to see how this works. See if you can kind of bring elbows and knees together and then back. It takes a little rocking action, rocking in your pelvis so you can move open and close. Open, close. Don't hold your breath. We're going to meet in the closed position. And I want you to bring your elbows way down and way up. Relax your hands. So if kind of the way I was suggesting is kind of cramping up your wrists or your hands, soften your hands. So this is not a problem for your hands or your wrists. We're going to go back to the open and close. So come on up, open it back up, and close. Hold it in the open position now. And this time we're going to twist so we can touch the elbow to the opposite knee. I want you to pick up the pace with this one. So see if you can just kind of really move through. Let your breath take care of itself. You're aware of your breath. You're encouraging that breath, but you're just going to really try to move as quickly as your body will allow you to do as a way of introducing a little more of a cardio experience. So we're asking our heart rate to jump up a little bit here because we're doing this a little quicker. Obviously, everybody has to govern themselves accordingly about their own particular health concerns. So if this isn't for you, then you're going to take it nice and easy. You're going to go at a pace that works better for you. Last time where you go through the round of each each side gets to touch that knee and then release your arms open wide, palms stretch open, no bend in the elbow. Now that open and close is going to be limited to just your upper body. Legs stay open as a nice wide base. And the exhale is going to round your back body. So the closed position includes a C-shaped curve. Open up, expand, exhale, C-shaped curve. open and close. Feel that movement through your pelvis. When you're coming into that rounded back, you can feel a little tucking. You feel that little tuck of the tail. Open and close. Can you bring your hands back to your shoulders, like we started, and we have our elbows together? Now let's try that. So the spine is not curving anymore. We're keeping it upright. We're just moving through the shoulders. But boy, it's in that armpit chest, into those lats. You can feel that. Now let's just circle that out. Change the direction of your circle. Whatever way you started, go a different direction now. Circle it out the other way. And let's release the arms alongside the frame of the chair. Sit up tall. Catch up with your breath. Let's get some back into the legs. I'm going to say let's hold on to the chair. I'm going to hold on as far back in the chair as I can. So it'll arch your back. It'll keep your body very upright. And let's start, I don't know, let's get those legs closer together. I'm kind of thinking this out as I go. So bringing your legs back within the frame, hips frame, that kind of just hold on, lift up, and alternate. I'm looking for mind teasers here. So we want to create some patterns that require lots of awareness. So this kicking out, that's what we're going to do for a straight leg option. What are we going to do for a bent knee option? So just lifting and straightening. Bent knee comes up, straighten it out. Alternate from bent knee to straight leg, go to the other leg, bent knee to straight leg. Keep it up. Oops. Lift up, straighten it out. Finish it up so you feel like you've done the same number on each leg on that pattern. Now, alternating arms. Stay with your alternate, I shouldn't say, we're crisscrossing. We've got our arm touching our opposite leg as it extends into its full extension. I'm still holding onto the chair with one arm, one hand. Last time on this side, let's switch it around. Straight leg out front, so it's both a straight arm and a straight leg. Find your breath. That's round one. Let's do round two now. Same thing. Oh, once again, we've switched sides now. That's 2. That's 3 for me. 4 and 5. Switch. Count out 5. Excellent. Let's come back to a neutral position now. Inhale up, palms gently touch. No bend in the elbow. Exhale into your W-shaped back bend. Find this rhythm of movement as a way of kind of resetting the body. Calming the breath down, slowing it back down. But we're keeping movement attached to the breath. Arms come up and arms go down. Inhale up, moving through the shoulder socket and all the way down. Lifting up. So we've got the shoulders worked out. Let's move into the hips. I want you to get a hold of your foot. So bent knee. We're going to just start moving it either side to side, or maybe you can find some circular direction. So create some movement in your hip. Try to alternate movement if you can. So you're not staying with the same movement. You're looking for more, different ways of expressing that. Awesome. Let's move into the knee now, the knee joint. So I want you to get a hold of the underside of your thigh, and you're going to circle your shin around. Let's use 5 again. 5 circles in one direction and 5 circles in the other direction. Now let's grab hold of the shin, hug your knee into your chest, and circle the ankle. Now, you can use the 5 circles again here too. You want to go both directions. Beautiful. Let's get both feet to the floor. Let's go to the other side now. We've done both of the upper body, so now we're going to stick with our lower body as we move into the hips. I'm just starting to notice how wobbly my standing leg is. I'm going to see if I can firm that up. So the leg that is not, active, but is holding me on the chair properly. See if you can really push your foot to the floor and stabilize your standing leg. That's a good foundational support for this. As much movement as you can find. Let's move into the knee joint. So we're going to get a hold of the underside of the thigh. This is done by circling your shin bone. Let's do 5 of those circles going one way and 5 going the other way. Great. Now hold on to your shin and pull in, hug the knee in toward the chest. And now we're going to circle our ankle in the same thing. You might want to count out 5 circles going one direction and 5 going the other way. I hope you're not staring at the screen here. Just take care of business with your body. Beautiful. Both feet to the floor. Let's get up from some standing poses. Now, tuck your feet underneath you so you're able to lift yourself right out of the chair. Let's do that one more time for good measure. Hey, grab your block, then come on up. You're going to put that block between your lower legs, squeeze your shins in toward the block, and find your mountain pose with our mudra. So you're going to have tips of the thumb touching the tip of your middle finger right alongside the body like we typically do for our mountain pose. Soften the knees just a bit. Pull the belly in. Close your eyes now. And so when you're breathing your full body experience of breath, take into account the space around your body. That somehow the breath awareness includes the space that surrounds this boundary that is your body. Full breath in and out. They need to be long breaths, don't they? We've got a lot to consider with each breath. Finish the breath you're on, exhale it out, and let's open the eyes. I'm going to move the block out of the way. I'm not sure I'm going to need it anymore. We're going to use the seat of the chair to begin, and we're going to start with an all fours position, or it's tabletop. We've got our hands creating our arms creating table legs. If this is hurtful for your wrist, I can't remember how often I have mentioned this to you, but an alternative, if you've got issues with your wrist, is to make a fist with your hand instead of open palm, that you make a fist instead. That's really quite stabilizing for your wrist. So that might be an alternative for some of you. Let's get into the hip. We're going to bend that knee. Let's just start right side and make some circles. Turn your head to look over in the direction of your circular movement. Lift your knee as high as you can. Change the direction every once in a while. And high is better. We're trying to really get some movement here. Boy, that leg is heavy. Stay with it. A few more circles. Make sure you've changed the direction. And now staying with this same leg, let's extend it straight back. Now you're looking straight down at the chair seat. and your leg is extended straight back. Toes are pointing toward the floor. And remember, the height of your leg is up to you. You could go as high as the hip height, but it doesn't have to be that high if that doesn't work well. Now, can you feel the strength building in your standing leg? Now, see if you can keep just your right hand on the chair. So your right hand is holding and supporting the right side of your body. Now, can the left hand reach out right past your ear, an extended leg, extended arm? That's a spinal balance. Let's bring both hands back to the chair, both feet back to the floor. I'm going to squat that out. Kind of a way to reset the body. I want you to sort of squat. To save time, I'm not going to move the chair. Let's stay right here and go to side 2. Can you bend your left knee now and start making circles over to the side and turn your head so you're looking over in the direction of your leg movement. Both hands are really kind of holding on to the chair. So your 3-point balance is 2 hands and 1 foot to the floor. You've got structure here to hold so you can move through that hip. Make sure to change the direction. Stay with it, that heavy leg circling around. Excellent. Let's bring both feet to the floor. Just a moment. Take a pause. That same leg, left leg, is going to extend straight back behind you, toes pointing down. Keep your left hand on the chair. So now the left side of your body is supported because it's got that left hand connected to the ground by way of the chair. Right hand is free to lift past your ear, arm extended, in a balance now, where opposite limbs are extending long away from center. Find your breath. Hands come down, feet come down, and we can squat to come out of that, kind of resetting the body with bent knees. Remember, pull your body weight away from your knees. Get your butt back there. So when you bend your knees, it's just effortless. The knees don't take on any additional pressure. Stay right here and come into your downward dog. Palms on the chair. Start walking back. Arms are very close to the head, to the side of the head and your ears. See if you can straighten out your legs. Definitely straighten out your feet. Feet are parallel. Deepen the breath. Pull that chin in towards your throat. Try to straighten the legs. Give it one more breath cycle. As you start to walk toward the chair, step the right foot forward, the left foot back. Both legs will stay straight. No bend in the knee. All 10 toes are facing in the same direction. Flatten out the top. It feels like you've got a tabletop again. So back of the head, neck, and spine are in alignment. And to the best of your knowledge, the way it feels in your body, that tabletop is parallel to the floor. There's no diagonal line. It's more parallel to the floor here. Both legs straight. Now we're going to see if we can bring our forearms to the chair. Forearms and elbows are bent, of course. And now you brought yourself into more of a diagonal line and much more of a stretch. Feel your feet. I want you to feel your toes pressing down to the floor, just like everything else on your foot. And then come back up, back to the tabletop kind of position where it feels like you're just parallel to the floor with your back body. We're going to step that foot back and stretch it into a downward dog. Deepen the breath. Don't cut any corners in terms of your form. And then we'll switch to side 2. So left foot steps forward. No bend in either leg. They're straight legs. All 10 toes pointing in the same direction, in the direction of the chair. Hold it. So you're managing the weight of the head. You're not letting that droop. And now we're going to deepen it by bringing our forearms to the chair seat and letting our head come deeper down. Deeper stretch. Keep pulling your pelvis back, just that it just feels like, what am I supposed to do here with my lower body? Well, the pelvis should be kind of stretching back. That's going to give you more sensation. Good. Hands come back to the chair. Let's take one more downward dog to stretch that out. This time, though, add some bent knees and then straighten it. So add some bent knees to this, kind of some squatting, and then start walking towards your chair. Round your back body. Think of the cat pose. Think of the roundness. Let's soften the knees quite a bit. So now when we come up, our head is so heavy, it's going to be the last to come up as we straighten up one vertebrae at a time. Find your mountain pose. And when you find your mountain pose, find your mudra. I'm going to skip the grabbing the block for myself. You might do it, though, if you'd like to. But I'm going to feel my way into those shins, squeezing the imaginary block. Make sure your feet are straight. Let's sync up our breath. Inhale is going to be palms together overhead. Look up. Exhale, bow to your heart. Inhale up, and exhale, come all the way down. Finally, let's do a simple balance pose. So you're going to be right next to your chair. The position near your chair is going to give you a standing leg support. And we're going to do a tree pose. So I'm going to ask you to draw the sole of your foot into the inner thigh of that standing leg. I want to show you what I just did. And I want you to be mindful that you're not doing it too. This is what we want to do. We bring our foot in there and we end up cocking our pelvis out of center. So keeping your pelvis in alignment so this action doesn't change that. And if it does, if there's no way to do it without, then I say bring your foot to the floor so you can stay upright. So trying to bring your foot into that inner shin automatically gives you this little wag of the pelvis. Don't do it that way. Create something different so you can use alignment as your highest good. Remember, the arms are like the branches of the tree, so we can do whatever we want to with that. I'm going to say, let's bring our awareness into that mudra and let the tree hold that. So lifting up, so you're not leaning into one side of your pelvis, but you're keeping your pelvis right aligned. Full breath in, full breath out. Mindfully now, bring everything back down. Shake your legs, shake it out. We always want the chair to support the standing leg, the root of the tree. So shift your body. You don't need to move your chair. If you don't want to, you can just move yourself. And then again, create that with the sole of the foot into the inner shin or calf area, or it could be at the inner ankle or on the floor. Remember, we don't want the pelvis to come out of alignment. Keep the pelvis squared with the shoulders. Arms are the branches of the tree, and our hands are holding the mudra. Find your drishti. Your gaze is focused on one thing as a way of balancing better and focusing better within your body as well. Full breath in, and full breath all the way out. Come down and out of that very mindfully, step by step, and shake your legs out. Take a wide stance here and try to circle your hips around, a little hula hoop action, holding the chair or not, whatever you need to do. Very exaggerated movement through the pelvis. Change the direction of that. I think we've got time for a little side bend stretch, so just kind of come up and over. I like to pulse it, turning my head in a particular way so I know I'm really neutralize that. My neck is going to be perfectly safe. And then the other side, again, you could just step around and have the chair there for support for that side bend. I've got my feet a little further than hips distance apart, a little wider stance. Let's finish it up. Palms come together overhead. Let's do that opening pose one last time. So gentle touch with straight arms up, side the head, and coming into the back bend. Inhale up. Exhale your back bend with the W-shaped arms, and you can feel that ease of movement in the shoulder blades. Inhale with me. Exhale, bow at your heart. Inhale up. Exhale, take a big sweeping action to come down. Time to now move into our Shavasana time. So if you want to grab a second chair or set yourself up at home the way you typically do, finding our way to Shavasana. You definitely want to be scooting back into the chair so you've got all the support in the world. Good time to get a drink. So any little self-care you want to do, don't put it off is my point. We think, it's good enough. I'll get it later. I'm just going to encourage you to take care of business right now. You feel like you're all set, very comfortable. And you start to notice how much support the chair can give you. Like you've been holding yourself with such strength, with core strength, keeping your back muscles engaged, keeping your abdominal walls engaged. And then you surrender to the chair, and it's like, wow, that was really powerful. I was powerfully holding my body, and now I can surrender to this relaxation time. I'm going to step away from the screen. I'm not going anywhere, but I am no longer going to be on the screen as you start to move yourself into this time deeper and deeper. And if you have found that mudra useful and kind of interesting to you, you could find it again, bringing the tip of your thumb in contact with the tip of your middle finger, and then just resting your hands on your lap. Remember to keep your mouth relaxed, your facial muscles softened. It sneaks up on us. Sometimes we just start bearing down in the oddest places. All of a sudden, you've made a fist of your hand. All of a sudden, you're gritting your teeth. Those kind of things happen to all of us. So let's soften and relax. Every time we find that to be so, we'll let it go, no judgment. You know, we create ease in the body when we meet ourselves right where we are, you know, without expectations. That creates ease in the body. Keep bringing yourself back to the breath. Your mind starts to wander. We're coming down to the end of class. Everybody wants to be ready for the next thing. See if you can give yourself the gift of just a few more minutes of full awareness right here and now, loving and kind within your own body, within your own space. I'm going to finish with a poem from my favorite book of poems by Dana Falls, and this is called Willingness. In the willingness to feel, there is healing. In the choice not to closet, cast aside, or deny experience, energy is freed, and I dive deeper into life. There may be maturity in choosing not to act, but there are no rewards for suppression and denial. To be fully alive is saying yes to the wide array of human feelings. When I soften, release, and breathe, I discover I am more than what I think, feel, reason, or believe. In the willingness to feel, there is healing. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it out of your mouth with a big sigh. Ah. Do that again. Big breath in. Sigh it out. Make that sound. Ah. And then you can continue that breath as you start bringing yourself forward on the chair. You get yourself situated. So we come back to right alignment of the spine. We're sitting up tall. We're back to right alignment. This is where we'll sign off. This is where we say our goodbyes. So let's sync up our breath. Inhale with me, palms together overhead. Look up if that feels good. Exhale as you bow to your own heart. Inhale up and exhale. Find that mudra. Use that mudra to share now this peaceful, loving experience that we just had. That energy now has been sent out to our community. How great is that? Palms once again come to the heart. We bow to ourselves and we bow to each other. Namaste, my friends. And thank you for joining me.